following podcast is utter nonsense and may cause agoraphobia, kleptomania, insomnia, and oppositional defiance disorder. We are required by law to provide you with this disclaimer for hazardous materials.
And welcome back to Hazardous Materials, where here it's always Friday. I'm Gideon Gonzalez, and joining me as always,
Casey Johnson. How's it going?
Now, I have had a fraught relationship with Star Wars comics. They're a bit on and off with me, but
You don't like green bunnies?
I'm actually a big Jackson guy. That's an on for me, friend. But this new Marvel event, which is always a phrase I'm hesitant to give praise to.
I'm gonna go right into it. Okay.
But Marvel's doing a big crossover event with all their Star Wars titles, and I think the last time they did a crossover was Vader Down, which ruled.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing the War of the Bounty Hunters, which I was tempted to check out because I love me some bounty hunters.
Who doesn't?
The Tales of the Bounty Hunters anthology was one of my favorite books as a kid. I was all about learning about how IG-88 actually took over the Death Star at the end of Return of the Jedi, but then got blown up right when he did.
Poor IG-88. I've always wanted like to have the old bounty hunters just kind of lined up on my desk.
I've
The
got
classic run.
I had almost all of them in the Black Series line, but then I missed Dengar, and I think Dengar is the most expensive of the bunch now. And so I'm honestly at the point of like, do I just sell the rest of these guys now?
Just bail on the whole concept.
Exactly. But, so yeah, War of the Bounty Hunters. The current Star Wars line is taking place between episodes 5 and 6.
Yep.
Which, conveniently, is that's around the time the bounty hunter showed up.
Yeah. No disintegrations.
Yeah, no disintegrations, not allowed. But the premise of the book is Boba Fett is he's driving his way from Cloud City to Tatooine to drop off Han Solo.
Which apparently was not a straight line.
No, he had to make a couple stops along the way. He's a busy guy.
And then this happened.
Yeah, and then he gets jacked. Someone takes Han and Carbonite, and things go badly for old Bubba.
So before Han actually shows up on Jabba's wall, it's yanked by Darth Maul's group, the Crimson Dawn.
Yeah, we get a little bit of a midnight run action here.
Yeah. So apparently the clock is ticking. Boba Fett's not thrilled, and someone is going to die.
Yes. Boba Fett's extra not thrilled because in retaliation for losing his beloved Han Solo, Jabba the Hutt puts a bounty on his head, and every Tom, Dick, and Harry decides they're gonna try to get a piece of the action.
Yeah, including Zuckuss and 4LOM.
So, God, it's so weird. When I read it spelled out phonetically, I was like, that's not how you say forlom.
That's 4LOM.
Or we're calling them AT-ATs now. They're AT-ATs.
They were AT-ATs.
Sacrilege. Well, do we call them... I don't know. I didn't have another example.
We ran out of examples.
We did, unfortunately. But, yeah, I've always said it forlom because that's how it looks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Even as a kid, I called him 4LOM.
I know. I always call him forlom.
You know why?
Why?
The commercials called him 4LOM.
See, I did not live in a time when the name forlom was said on television.
I did.
It was said in hushed tones at the Barnes & Noble at
It's
the
like,
borders.
look, it's Zuckuss and 4LOM. It was done.
Do they have
like
the
that.
name swapped?
No, but I know what you're talking about because they did for a long time.
Yeah, even though one of them is clearly a robot.
Yeah, it's clearly a droid.
A goofy mix-up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they show up, they shoot Boba Fett's ship, and he's like, that's my father's vessel.
He did not take kindly to
No,
that.
they messed up his dad's car,
And they,
so he messed them up in return.
and he's got him on the edge. It's like, I told you this was a personal. And it's like, it's not personal. But that was my father's vehicle.
And so I was a little concerned with Zuckuss and 4-Lob's fates in this book.
4LOM.
However, they are getting their own one-shot during this event.
Yes.
And it's being drawn by Keizama, who is one of my favorite Transformers artists, and I'm very excited to see her tackle
So
these
one would
characters.
assume that they actually survived this event.
Fingers crossed, man, because it don't look good.
It didn't look for good Zuckuss there.
4-Lob gets his head yeeted into a pit.
Yeah, he did. But he's a droid.
Yeah.
He'll come back.
Droids always come back.
Yeah.
But, so, Boba Fett is getting attacked on all sides. The haters and the losers are coming for him.
The total scrubs.
Yeah.
Like the guy he fragged in the bar.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
There's at least one Rodian popped up, as they do. They exist to just be
Yeah.
sad bounty hunters.
The Rhodians, I find, either show up to be completely killed or screwed up in some
Or they
fantastic
show up
fashion.
to be my childhood Jedi Academy character, because for whatever reason, Rodians were a choosable race, and I was
Really?
like, hell yeah, I want to be the Greedo species.
I think the Rhodians are actually selectable in the Star Wars MMO.
They were in Galaxies, so that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But do you remember Beto?
No.
So they reused the Greedo costume in Return of the Jedi in Jabba's palace. So they never focus on him, but there's a crowd. But in the crowd shots, you can see there is clearly Greedo in the same costume, standing there. So of course, on Wikipedia, he is labeled Beto, and he's just another Rodian that happens to have similar fashion sense.
Is he like tan colored?
No, he's green, or he is like that turquoise.
No, his outfit.
Yeah, he's got that same. It's the exact same costume.
Oh my god.
Isn't rocking the heels though, unfortunately.
He had heels?
Yeah, Greedo was performed by a woman, and to be like comparable height to Harrison Ford, she has very considerable heels.
I did not know
Yeah, you
this.
can see the picture right here. It happened here in 1977.
That's very impressive.
So, anyways, Bubba's going around the galaxy. Jabba is talking it up with the other Hutt lords, and it is amazing.
I love this.
There's
I know
a-
where you're going.
There's a Buff Hutt.
So ripped.
I'm all about Buff Hutt with his like.
The first thing I
12-pack.
spotted is like that Hutt's got some big guns.
Yeah, I was like, man, why'd they draw him so tight? I was like, oh, those are abs.
Those are super
That's
abs.
the Bowflex Hutt.
Yeah, and I like the fact though that even though he was super buff and ripped, he referred to Jabba as the most powerful Hutt. So I guess
Got the political
if you're
machinations.
fat and corpulent, you're definitely a superior being.
But speaking of chunky Hutts, there's a Marlon Brando Hutt.
Marlo.
He's got the little hair and the mustache.
He's even sleepy.
And he even mentions cats at one point.
I don't trust the cats.
Exactly, and I was like, you come to me on the eve of my daughter's wedding, Solo.
Well, it turns out Marlo is like 1,000 years old.
That's beautiful.
I know.
Marlon-
Apparently, old Hutts
Marlon
get
Brando
sleepy.
was famously 1,000 years old when he filmed The Godfather. So
As far as I understand, that's the truth.
he's immortal.
He was at least 1,000 years old when he did The Freshman. Deep cut.
Wow. But the big reveal, and this was what really sold me, because I was like, this is fun, I'm enjoying this, but I don't know if I need to follow it. But then, if you're worried about spoilers, maybe skip ahead a minute.
Oh, we've already destroyed the spoilers. Of
That's
the story.
true. Kira from Solo is leader of the Crimson Dawn, and she's the one who's got Han Solo's body.
She's the one that engineered this whole snatch and grab.
Yeah, and now she's gonna sell to Jabba, which I'm like, damn girl, cold. First time
That
you've
is
seen
pretty
Han.
cold, unless she has another agenda.
I'm actually really I'm excited to be excited about a Star Wars comic, because like I'll dive in whenever they do relaunches, and it hasn't really hooked me since Gillen's run on Vader.
And apparently this issue has caused such a stir in the Star Wars community that Kira's actress even noted it and spoke about it on her own Twitter
That's
account.
so cool. Good for you, Emilia Clarke.
Yeah.
Get that Solo 2 money.
Right?
I'm a Solo defender.
I am too. And I think it's because I think it did really well. I think that Donald Glover is the new Lando, period.
Oh, for sure.
And if they don't make him the star of that new Lando show, they've done us all a grave disservice.
How can they not? They gotta.
And, of course, the ultimate reveal at the very end that Darth Maul is running the Crimson Dawn.
God, it ruled.
It was awesome.
That was one of those like, oh shit moments in theaters that you don't see too often.
No, you don't.
It
It's
was
like,
delightful.
because that's clearly Mr. Park behind all that.
And of course, always happy to see Phoebe Waller-Bridge of Fleabag and Killing Eve get a Disney check when she was L337, the best character of the movie.
Oh, wow. I've actually just started watching Fleabag.
It's so good.
It's surprisingly good.
genuinely one of my favorite shows the last few years.
Yeah, I've got one more season to go. You've actually just reminded me that
It's
I need
good
to
stuff.
watch it.
They're
Yeah.
short seasons. It's British TV.
It's
baby.
very short. It's a short series.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
only 2 seasons and that's it.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's a good time to be a Star Wars comics fan, and
It is. I mean, the Darth Vader comics for me, those are the only ones that I read,
Mm-hmm.
have been exceptionally good. And to find out that they actually broke up the 2 series for a reason, because there's one series, it's done.
Yeah.
And then they inexplicably start this new one. Then I found out one is like right after New Hope, and the second
Yeah.
one is after.
Well,
Empire.
this is the third one.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, Greg Pak's run is the third one. The second one took place between episodes 3 and 4, and it was about Vader hunting down all the other Jedi.
Right.
Yeah, so like You ever want to see Darth Vader fight the librarian from Episode 2 that said, "If it's not in the archives, it doesn't exist"? Have I got a comic for you?
Oh my god.
Vader gets the bricks beat off him by an old lady. It rules.
Well, I mean, she's there for a reason.
He does. I mean, spoiler alert, she does not appear in Star Wars later on, so he does eventually win, but she gives him a run for his money.
Yeah.
That's what I love about Vader, is that he's a chump,
Well, I mean,
he's a guy who backed the wrong horse and is in too deep,
and he realizes it.
and he's just like, well, I'll double down.
If you
Keeps
read
doubling
the
down.
Darth Vader series, he's figured out very soon after he
Oh, yeah.
got put in the armor that I've screwed up. But I'm going to make the boast of it, and I'm going to kill my master.
That's what I love about him. He's this bitter, petty chump
Yeah.
who threw away everything, got screwed for it, and then he's like, well, my only other recourse is to just do worse.
I got to ante up. Well, I mean, he went from Anakin, who's relatively whiny and bitchy, to Vader, who is, by all accounts, one of the most unflappable villains you'll ever see.
Oh, he's incredibly flappable.
No, he isn't. Vader never gets.
He chokes people out for the most minor of offenses.
But what I mean by unflappable,
he chokes
is that,
people up over Zoom call.
What I mean by that is that nothing breaks Vader's cadence.
Oh, because you can't see his face.
Well, I'm just saying he's got this immutable cool around him.
Yeah.
He's never gone, oh crap, you've seen him slip on a banana peel or something horrible like that.
He turns the mic off.
Yeah.
It's like how I occasionally will.
No, granted, he is wearing a mask.
It's like how
But-
I will mouth insults sometimes under my mask.
But
like
if Vader
frustrated.
shows up in like a TV series or something like that, he's going to be cucumber cool the entire time and rule every single scene he's going to be.
Oh yeah, he's also a punster. Don't choke on your aspirations.
Oh God!
director.
Don't remind me. I remember that.
Rules. I don't even like Rogue One, and I love that. It's 10 out of 10.
Oh God, Vader.
So yeah, being that this is a Marvel Comics event, every single book in the Star Wars family of titles is tying in. So you're gonna get the Star Wars book, which will focus on like Luke and Leia and Lando and Chewie trying to get him back. You got Dr. Aphra, where she's teamed up with Han's ex, and they're gonna fight Dirge from Clone Wars, and I'm so excited.
One more last note about Vader and the Vader prequel. He actually runs into Han Solo.
Yeah.
In, like a thing, and the moment it happens, Chewie and Han book it. And you see Chewie saying something, and Han Solo's reacting, and he goes, "I know who it is. That's why we're running."
I love the there's just like that. You can't see him do it, but you can just tell Vader just like narrowed his eyes when he sees him because there's a little red
One of those Kill
flashback
Bill scenes
to them in A New Hope going pew 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 at him, and he's like, Solo.
It's a Shogun assassin moment.
Yeets the lightsaber at him. The whole night.
Yeah, he did do that.
He does. I always love to see it.
He's deflecting, and Chewie does another, and Solo's like, "Yes, I know he's blocking our blaster fire with that thing."
But yeah, Dirge from Clone Wars, I thought was the coolest thing in the world when I was a kid. He was like a pile of armor full of worms, and that's cool as hell.
I didn't know anything about that. I don't watch a whole lot of Clone Wars.
Oh man, so this isn't the CG Clone Wars, which I still need to watch because I
This is
know
the animated.
I'm told it is the greatest piece of Star Wars media, and I got to get to it eventually. But I'm referring to my boy Jendy Tartakovsky's Clone Wars after Attack of the Clones came out, because that show rules, and it's on Disney Plus now.
And didn't they release it as a movie?
They did. No, you're thinking of again the CG Clone Wars. That was in like 07.
Oh.
This is like an 02. And the Tartakovsky one, they put out, I think, 2 DVDs compiling it. And it's all edited, those 5-minute episodes, into, like,
Oh,
an
that's
hour.
right. They were super short.
Yeah. But they flow really well together as a piece. Because they're basically just, like, again, 5-minute action sequences that have an overarching story.
Yeah.
And Kit Fisto being sexy.
Kit Fisto.
They went from this weird... Like, he's cute when he smiles, but... He looks nasty kind of there. But then they got Phil Lamar to voice him on Clone Wars, and he's super ripped and shirtless and swimming. Oh,
He looks like a tadpole with a body attached to it.
Yeah, but like a sexy tadpole.
Ripped.
It's like, you ever see that picture of Kermit with abs?
No.
Oh, it's powerful.
You're in different internet searches than I am.
What can I say? It ain't easy being green.
Oh God.
But anyways, back to Earth here. Dirge is a bounty hunter who is hired by the Trade Federation to romp on some clones. He rides a speeder bike. He's flanked by a couple of early IG units, also on speeder bikes.
But not IG-11.
No, these are IG Lancer units, so they're precursors. They got little speeder bikes and they carry around like lances, so they're like jousting. It's cool.
Those are the ones that was it Ashoka dealing with Lancer units on that one Mandalorian episode?
I don't think so. Oh, maybe.
Yeah, because there was.
Yeah. No, those are HKs from Kodor.
Oh, okay.
But man, I'm guessing it is.
We are knee deep. In some Star Wars.
I'm so unused to talking about Star Wars regularly because, dear listeners, I work in a comic book store where you will be crucified for having the wrong Star Wars opinion. So whenever someone mentions Star Wars at work, I go into fight or flight mode and don't want to talk about it.
We found that out before we recorded.
Yeah, because Casey's a jerk.
Yes, I nearly stormed out.
But so it's nice to be excited about Star Wars and gush about all of my hidden Star Wars knowledge that I've kept bottled up for the past 5 years.
I'm pretty sure if you told me what you and tell them that we'll get like 50 million downvotes.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I'm not here to court controversy. I'm not Bill Maher. I'm not in it for the hate.
Oh my God.
But Dirge.
I love Geely.
Do you remember on Halo the Hunters?
No.
So they're also.
Oh, I know what the Hunters are. I thought it was a game for some reason.
Oh yeah, on Halo.
That's how out of the loop I am on Halo.
Yeah, Halo. Then the first games. There's the Hunters. They were the orange worms moving blue armor.
Yeah.
That's basically what Dirge is. He's basically one of those, and he fights Jedis.
Oh, okay.
And Obi-Wan's like, I'm gonna force crush your armor, and he's like, screw you, I'm made of worms.
Yeah, you just made my apartment smaller. Okay.
So he's so cool, and I believe this is gonna be his first appearance in the current continuity because he showed up in I think some of the 2000s era Clone Wars comics. Don't quote me on that. I'm not a Star Wars comics expert, unfortunately.
I mean, I know some of the 70s Star Wars comics.
You know, Jackson?
When they're awful.
The Green Rabbit?
Yeah, when Ditko was doing some of them.
I don't think Ditko did any of
Yes, he did.
I know Howard Chaykin did a ton of them.
Chaykin did a few of them, but you know, Ditko's got that hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen that hand quite a bit in a Star Wars comic. I also saw it in Machine Man, and I saw it in, of course,
that Rom Space Knight.
Rom Space Knight. Exactly where I was going with this.
His favorite paycheck comic.
Oh my God.
I mean, have you seen that letter from Ditko where someone wrote him saying, "Hey, I love Rom Space Knight, and it was really cool that you did it." And he was like, "Oh yeah, I just did that for the money. I didn't really care about it, but cool." Thanks.
You could tell he didn't give a crap about it. He
Love
drew like the annual that was supposed to be like some big important issue, and it was just ugly, 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 so ugly. As a child, I knew bad art when I saw it, and Ditko was it.
Ditko was cashing it in, man.
He was
ready.
Definitely.
But where was I on listing? Oh yeah, so Star Wars, you got your core Star Wars cast minus Han, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Aphra, you got Dr. Aphra, and it's killing me that I can't remember Han's ex-wife's name.
Kira?
No, like his ex-wife that's introduced in the Jason Aaron Star Wars stuff. People have to not remembering her name, but she's there as well. Again, I didn't read much of the Jason Aaron Star Wars, so. And Bounty Hunters is focused on Dengar, which it feels weird that he's gunning for Boba Fett.
Because don't they have like
They're homies.
Yeah,
they're buddies.
they're buds.
Boba Fett was Dengar's best man because
maybe Dengar's trying to like help him out by taking the bounty?
I don't know. He's just saying to his cyborg friend from the 70s, he's like, "Come on, man, we can be set for life if we kill Boba Fett." And I'm like, "That's not my Dengar. Not my Dengar."
Dengar always to me looked like a Civil War hospital vet.
Do you know what his backstory is, right?
Well, you've told me like 3 times, at least 3 times, and whoosh, goes right up my head afterwards.
For Casey and viewers who don't know, Dengar was like a drag racer in space, and one day he raced a young scoundrel named Han Solo, and Han Solo did a little like switchy move on him and made him crash into an asteroid belt and got messed up.
Well, yeah.
So he is horrifically scarred, and that's why he is wearing all that gear. He used to be a stormtrooper, I think, and that's why or used to be a snowtrooper, and that's why his gear is snowtrooper armor painted brown. I mean, the real reason is because George was like, I wonder if we just paint some of that brown. There we go, new character.
I'm going to jump out for a second, go into the Mandalorian with Mayfield. Remember when he told him...
I wasn't a stormtrooper.
I was a stormtrooper,
sharpshooter.
asshole.
But, did you see that Dengar was in Rise of Skywalker?
No.
So, you may have seen when they go to that cantina with the John Williams cameo as the DJ.
Oh, touch the microphone accidentally.
But there is a horrific-looking rictus grin droid guy whose name is, like, in the book...
Yeah, it's, like, reversed.
Yeah, his name is an anagram of Dengar.
Yeah,
and I was like, don't do my boy dirty like that. That's
he's
messed
had a
up.
rough life.
You hate to see it.
I think I remember that.
Because...
I've only seen Rise of Skywalker once.
Same. But, my boy Dengar, as I recall from my childhood, and as it was in my childhood, it's objectively better. It's not. Folks, don't be blinded by nostalgia. It's a disease.
It is a disease because I bought the Transformers set a couple years ago, and I watched it, and I sold it.
But anyways, Dengar went to go pick up his best friend in the world, Boba Fett, when he was stuck in the Sarlacc pit. That's the real reason Boba Fett survived, was the power of friendship. And Dengar then later settled down and met a nice girl and got married, and Boba Fett was his best man. I'll tell you what, those Tales of the Bounty Hunter books, I revisited a couple years ago. They're really hung up on, like, marriage. Like, Boba Fett makes multiple speeches about how he doesn't have sex, that he's chaste.
Why is that important?
It's weird. I don't know. I feel like the author had very strong views about premarital sex because, again, he makes a huge point that Dengar gets married and that Boba Fett doesn't have sex because who knows why. It was very bizarre. And, like, as a child, I didn't really pick up on it. But as an adult, I was like, this guy's really hung up on Boba Fett not having sex. So what I'm really getting at here is I really hope in the War of the Bounty Hunters that we learn once and for all what Boba Fett's views are on adultery. It's very important to me.
Well, you know, because it's important to me, and I need to know what it is.
Exactly. And I need to I need to know, is Dengar married? Has he met the girl he's going to commit his whole life to?
And if he doesn't, is Boba Fett going to cast a judgmental eye at him?
I like to always picture, when they said that Boba Fett was the best man, as a child I immediately pictured him wearing a tuxedo but with the helmet still on.
I expect him to wear, like, the bow tie with the suit.
I want them to both have the suit, frankly. But I want Dengar to wear it over his armor because it'll kill him if he takes it off. That's my dream Star Wars project. Kathleen Kennedy, call me. I've got ideas. I got Disney Plus shows out the wazoo here. Hire me. I'm giving this away for free. This is gold.
What's the name of that reptilian one with the long arm?
My boy Bosk.
Yes.
He's got the half sleeves because he's wearing a human-sized one.
Every time I used to play with the action figures, I put his arms up, and it'd just be these gigantic man scoopers.
You mean the hunter of Wookiees, boss?
Yeah, they were not. He did not. He was not fond of Wookiees.
Yeah, that's why he took the job. He liked to skin them and sell them as rugs.
Did you notice that when Boba Fett put on his new outfit, he got rid of the Wookiee braids?
He was like, it was a different time.
It was a different time.
We all have regrets.
Working for Jabba was apparently one of them.
I'd like to express my deepest apologies to the Wookiees.
Oh yeah, and talking about this, we're gonna dive right into frickin' Mandalorian and the end of it. So if you haven't watched that, you need to stop watching this. But yeah, when he walks in, just blasts out Bib Fortuna. It's like, I'm all about that.
I'm glad you brought up Mando because that was a point I was gonna get to, but I think this is a great point, a great segue to talk about it here.
Okay.
Is that we have had we've had 6 years of Marvel Star Wars comics, and not once have we had a Boba Fett solo book until now, because there's going to be one spinning out of War of the Bounty Hunters. This book is essentially just like the lead-in miniseries to a Boba Fett ongoing, which I'd always thought, that's really weird. That would sell like hotcakes. But I'm thinking now that the reason they're doing it now is because Disney put a moratorium on them telling a Boba Fett solo story. He could show up in the Star Wars books, but they had specific plans of what they wanted to do with Boba Fett, and they wanted to let Favreau and Filoni and crew figure out what they were going to do with him before they started adding new canon.
Was that same moratorium on Dark Horse? Rob, you know about that, wouldn't you? Was there a Boba Fett solo book for Dark Horse?
He had his couple. He had some minis, but he never had an ongoing. But Dark Horse also never did ongoings outside of the main Star Wars book. Well, they did a few ongoings. There would be like Old Republic, but it would generally they wouldn't.
They would have like a mini series.
Yeah,
like,
they wouldn't
what
do
did
like
for Darth Maul.
They would have. Yeah, they'd have their ongoings would be like kind of universe spanning, and then solo books would be minis. So they'd be like a couple of Vader minis. There'd be like a 2-issue Boba book here, and yada yada. But you like the ongoings would be stuff like Legacy or completely adjectiveless Star Wars, the amazing adjectiveless Star Wars.
I wonder what they're going to do when they start running out of content, because there's a finite amount of information they can do.
We've got the High Republic now. That's a wealth of stuff they can mine. I guess I should. It goes without saying, High Republic is not tying into War of the Bounty Hunters, but I'd love to see him try.
I'm not hearing good things about High Republic. There's like no buzz on it.
I haven't checked it. There was a ton of buzz out the gate, but I think that was mostly comic book speculators, the bane of my existence.
Well, I mean, the High Republic announcement came out like a week before Disney dropped the bomb that is Book of Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody was just talking about that. And
it said, Boba Fett? Boba Fett where?
Yeah, exactly. And then the High Republic stuff, it just disappeared. Not a single person was talking about it.
Yeah, I haven't picked up the novel, but to be fair, I've been a bad novel reader lately. You know what I'd like to see, though?
What?
I'd like to see him tie it in by bringing in that little Jedi Time Stone from the Lego Holiday Special.
Which one is this?
Have you not seen the Lego Holiday Special from last year?
Oh, yeah. I saw parts of it.
It's so cute. But yeah, Rey got a little Jedi Time Stone and let her time travel and meet old Obi-Wan and stuff.
That's right. I did see that.
It was cute.
Because that was like a big old thing.
It was, and you got to have Kylo Ren team up with Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah, that was Lego for you. They just kind of pulling everything out of their hat.
And of course, Billy D returned to voice Lando because
Billy D.
Yeah.
But I told you that to have proper Lando, it's got to be Double Glover.
Which, a little off topic here, but you see those first preview art for the Batman '89 comic? We're getting Billy D. Two-Face.
Are we?
Yeah, boy.
As we should, because
Yes.
Tommy Lee Jones, in his complete humorless assness, does not deserve to be.
I cannot
Two-Face.
condone your buffoonery.
Yeah.
But enough about the Star Wars. Let's talk about the Star Trek.
Are you sure you don't want to talk about Star Trek Online?
No. I'm talking about this September, the Star Trek comics are putting out The Mirror War. And you know me. I've mentioned many times. Mirror Universe is my jam. Just saw that that 2-part Enterprise episode, a.k.a. the best episode of Enterprise, which is a real bummer because it's the best episode of your show shouldn't be the alt-universe take on it.
Yeah, with the great new intro that gets rid of that horrible theme song.
It's been a long road getting from there to here.
Why, Star Trek?
Because my time is finally near.
Get on with it.
But anyways, The Mirror War is a sequel to the Mirror Universe comics that came out a few years ago that rule. I highly recommend, if you're a Star Trek, a Next Gen fan, read them. Because you get to see ripped as hell Captain Picard just like body slamming fools. You get to see Riker with a couple little braids in his beard.
Everyone's an overly jacked
Data's a buff
alpha
Borg. Wesley Crusher is like an evil genius.
Oh yeah, he has to be.
He's building those agonizers. and whatnot.
Yeah.
But my favorite surprise from it, though. Casey, have I expressed how I feel about Reginald Barclay?
Reginald, you mean Holodeck Barclay?
Broccoli? Yes.
Broccoli?
My least favorite member of the Enterprise crew.
Least?
I despise Reginald Barclay.
I love Barclay.
I hate that space incel.
Why'd you do that? Why did you do that to
Because
Barclay?
he's a creep.
Okay, he is a creep, but he keeps
jerking
himself.
in the holodeck about his coworkers.
But he's doing it by himself.
They should have court-martialed it. Maybe not court-martialed. They should have transferred him to a different ship because that's insanely unethical to keep him.
One would call it problematic.
Yeah, insanely problematic. He's like,
But at the time when they were filming it, it was the 80s.
and he's got the same therapist. He was just jerking off about in the holodeck.
Because it's the future.
It's bad.
In the future, there are no incels and there are no problematic people.
Every Barclay episode is awful except for the Moriarty episode, And he cusses he's bare.
Moriarty?
Moriarty. Tomato.
Man's name is man's name.
The Moriarty brothers. Moriarty brothers. Super Moriarty.
Oh, jeez.
My favorite video game. That's the only good Barclay episode. Barclay, you know what? I'll give him his cameo in First Contact is cute.
What about the time that they used Barclay as one of the scientists to help bring Voyager back?
I'm not a Voyager guy, so I.
No, he was.
Oh, good for
He was a part of that.
Good for him, I guess. Rotten hell. They made me hate Howlin' Mad Murdoch. Can you believe?
Oh, my God.
That's him. Same actor.
I know it is.
Yeah. But anyways, Mirror Reginald Barclay is not the pathetic shell of a future human being that he is in the main universe. He is a evil genius, master manipulator who is climbing the ranks of the Enterprise by pitting people against each other and having... He becomes chief of security, I think, by the end of the first issue. By basically goading Tasha Yar into a fight with someone so she dies.
Poor Tasha Yar.
And eventually, this becomes the arc of the later two miniseries. Because the first minis just get basically the secret origin of the Mirror Enterprise D crew.
You know, when the Next Generation first came out, because I'm that old, Tasha Yar was my favorite character. And then they killed her.
You did
then
it.
They
You did
killed
this.
Her. I did this to us.
But Barclay swaps places with his main universe counterpart, and he's like, "You are such a loser. You have it so good here, and you can't take advantage of it at all. I'm gonna change your life for the better."
Oh, jeez.
And of course, eventually they get in. The rest of the crew comes over, and our Enterprise D crew has to fight him off. But the Mirror War is going to be focused in the Mirror Universe. It's about Picard being like, well, we just got our asses kicked by our Prime Universe counterparts. Let's go kill the Emperor.
It seems to me like Mirror Universe Barclay would just be in 10 forward all the time.
He's just Chad. The Chad Barclay.
Yeah. Okay.
He's just a cool dude. Everyone likes him.
I love Chad.
He says, holodecks? Mm-mm. Though I do not waste my precious fluids on such...
No, I will not do that.
But anyways, what really intrigues me, though, about this Mirror one, and we're getting in the weeds here on Star Trek talk. I assume the people who tuned in because they saw Star Wars in the title have already tuned out. But the new book has Smiley O'Brien on the cover, and I'm curious how this will fit into the continuity of my beloved Deep Space Nine, where Smiley O'Brien comes from.
I believe you wore that shirt and I didn't even pick up on it.
Yeah, so on Deep Space Nine, he is a slave on Terok Nor, which is an Alliance outpost because the human empire, the Terran Empire, has basically been destroyed by the Romulan Klingon Alliance.
As it should be.
Which I'm guessing timeline-wise is that these Mirror books take place before that, and so I hope everything lines up because I feel like DS9 tends to get a little ignored. I feel like it's sometimes the redheaded stepchild of the Star Wars franchise, and it's my favorite one. It rules.
I read somewhere that they actually managed to make more Mirror stories after that whole, Terran Empire gets their asses beat by the Klingons and the Romulans. That they actually still managed to come out on top and still be them.
The Terrans? They come back? Oh, cool. Because like, as far as the timeline that I know of for the Mirror stuff is the Deep Space Nine stuff, which is really, really good. You get a...
I'm going to give you another warning, because here it comes.
I was going to say...
Star Trek Online uses the Terrans...
Take a drink.
I love this game, okay? Uses the Terrans quite a bit, and also for storylines. So, Star Trek Online takes place 9 years after Picard, so Terrans obviously made out on top.
Good for them.
Good for them.
R.I.P. Chancellor Worf with his Garrick on a chain.
Yeah, they don't really talk too much about that, but you can have a Romulan Mirror outfit.
Is my girl Mira Kira still around?
Mira, no, but Lita is.
Mira Lita.
She's an admiral.
That's awesome.
And she's like the...
to quote Rom in that episode,
it
really is the alternate universe.
She's actually the commander of Terok Nor.
Oh, that rules.
Yeah.
Good for Lita. Get it, girl. Hell yeah, Bajor.
There's one part where you're defending Deep Space Nine from this incursion, and Lita pushes Tarek Nor through the rift, so Tarek Nor and Deep Space Nine are fighting each other.
That's so cool.
It's actually a really good episode.
And with that, I think we've got ourselves a really good episode about the stars and the comics.
Yeah.
Folks, we're going to go through our normal litany here. Check out the links. Maybe give us some money on ye old Patreon. We might make some content if you throw us a little cheddar.
And we already got an idea of what we're going to do next. Did we agree on that?
Of what our next episode's going to be?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, lay it on them.
We're going to look at little-known comics and characters that, or comic books that have been forgotten that maybe were once big, or that should be big, and no one's talking about it anymore. So we're going to do a top 10.
You know I'm going to have a whole list of my 90s boys.
Yeah, and I'm going to try to go for some deep cut 70s and 60s stuff.
90s DC Legacy, let's go.
Oh, jeez.
See y'all next week.